Hi everyone, welcome to Online Study for You, a complete placement solution. Well, as we all know that Deloitte NLA 2025 exam is approaching very soon, so you need to prepare really well. And in this video, we are going to see some previously asked MCQs from technical skills section, right? But before moving on to the video, I want to request you that if you haven't subscribed our channel yet, so do subscribe. You can see that we are uploading the related content, right? Let's move on to the video now. Before moving on to the questions, I want to discuss the syllabus with you guys so that you will be having the clear understanding that what are the sections available and how you need to prepare, how many questions will come from which section, right? So the very first section is language skills, that is for English, right? So the questions will be in the form of MCQs and fill-ups, and there will be 10 MCQs and 3 fill-ups. And the focus areas are vocabulary, grammar, sentence construction and arrangement, and comprehension, right? General aptitude, so MCQ will be typed, right? And the number of questions will be 12 reasoning questions and 10 quantitative aptitude questions. And the focus areas are logical reasoning, cognitive skills, data interpretation, and numerical calculation like arithmetic ability, percentage, profit loss, etc. If we see that there is a dedicated section for technical skills that will be MCQs based, and there will be 30 MCQs from different topics of computer science. So the questions will be from testing, from computer science fundamentals, from networking, cybersecurity, cloud and computing, programming, acumen, etc. Right? So in this video, we will be focusing on these areas only. From each and every topic, we will be taking 4 or 5 questions so that you can have the idea that, okay, previously this type of question was asked. Now, accordingly, we need to prepare, right? The next is technical skills, that means coding. So there will be 2 coding programs you need to write, right? One will be easy and one will be moderate. And the key area of focus is logical thinking, problem solving, syntax correctness, and function and arrays, loop, data structures, etc. Like support language are C, C++, Java, and Python. I hope it is clear to you. And the exam will be proctored, right? Please don't try any kind of cheating and something. If you will caught red-handed, then everything will be like mess up, right? I hope it is clear to you. So now let's move on to the video. So, and this is the very first question. As we have discussed that the questions will be from testing, from cloud and network security, from computer science fundamentals. So 4 to 5 questions from each section we will be taking and we will be solving. Right. So the very first question, that is from testing. So first of all, we will be solving the questions from testing. Okay. Which methodology is used to perform maintenance testing? So first of all, let's understand what is maintenance testing. So maintenance testing is performed to check whether our software, even after some updations like bug fixing or any version update or any enhancement, is working fine. If there are some existing functionality, so even after making some changes, our software is working fine or not, right? The existing functionality should not be disrupted after the changement done in our software. So it is what maintenance testing is. So for performing this maintenance testing, breadth test and depth test is the methodology that we use, right? Now what is breadth test? Breadth test is something that overall check that our software is working fine, right? And depth test will check each and every function, right? It is useful for overall checking, right? And here depth test will use for checking each and every functionality of our code or of our software, right? So if we understand in detail, so here is the explanation I have taken. Maintenance testing is performed to ensure that changes made to our software applications like enhancement, bug fixes, or any update do not adversely affect the existing functionality, right? So it is what maintenance testing is. And if we see that breadth testing, focusing on testing a wide range of functionalities or the overall system is working after changes, right? And depth testing is involves thoroughly testing the particular areas of application or one by one checking each and every area in the application. So it is what, okay. I hope it is clear to you. Let's move on to the next. So, which of the following is not part of the test document? So, test document is something, or test document is a documentation useful in testing phase, right? So, as we know that SDLC cycle contains different phases. One is testing phase there. So, there itself there is a test document which is consist of different things. The test case is a set of actions or conditions or we can say some requirements that our software should fulfill, right? So it is again a part of test document. The next is requirement traceability matrix, RTM. So requirement traceability matrix is a kind of test documentation only that will take a track or that will map that our software or the function that is used in software are following the user requirements, are following the specified requirement, are fulfilling the requirements or not, right? So again, it is related to test document. Test strategy is something that we used in testing, like what type of strategies we are using to test our software, like unit testing and performance testing, alpha testing, beta testing, etc., right? Different types of testing, system testing. So these are the strategies. So again, it's a part of test document. The next is project initiation note pin. So this project initiation note is related to project management. So it is a kind of summary that will tell us that what are the stakeholders involved in our project, what is the deadline of our project, what are the objectives of our project, right? What type of problem our project is solving. So it is something that is not related to test document. So it will be our answer. I hope it is clear to you. So you can read the whole explanation here. I have attached. Okay, you can take the screenshot. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is not a valid phase of SDLC? So we know that the first phase is, sometimes we say planning, then we say requirement analysis, but usually it is starting from requirement analysis. So the first is requirement analysis, then the next is design, right? Design or kind of blueprint of our project, etc. Then the third is development or implementation in code, right? Then the fourth is testing, right? Testing, and the fifth is maintenance, or sometimes it is called execution, right? So these are the phases of our SDLC. So testing phase is there, requirement phase is there, deployment phase is there, deployment and maintenance. Sometimes here we can say deployment. If we are saying deployment and maintenance, so it is completely called as execution phase, right? Otherwise, sometimes or in some books or on some website, it is written separately, right? So these are the phases, but there is no any kind of phase that is testing closer. So testing closer will be the answer, right? The next is functional testing is a. So functional testing is a test type, right? That will use to verify whether our function that are whether our software is performing according to our requirements, whether it is fulfilling all the requirements completely or not. If we see here, here is the explanation. See, just a minute. Okay. So functional testing is categorized as a test type because it focuses on verifying that the software perform its intended function according to the specified requirement. So whatever the requirements we have in our requirement analysis phase, right? So we will be checking in functional testing that all the things are satisfied here or not. It involves testing individual function or feature of the application, ensuring that they work correctly and as expected. Suppose there is an application, mobile application. So there will be different functions, or there will be different modules, including some UI features, including some internal coding, backend coding, front end coding, etc. So we will be checking one by one, and for each module, that each module is fulfilling the requirements or not, right? So it is what functional testing is. Now, what are these options? Test design technique, test label, and SDLC model. So we have defined these things as well. This test design technique, it refer to the specific methods that are used to design that are used to design test cases. In our coding platforms, we see now there are some test cases that will useful for analyzing some boundary value analysis, some equivalence partitioning, and some other conditions as well, right? The next is test label. So test level is something that is stages of testing. That the first is unit testing, then integration testing, then the next is system testing, and then fourth is acceptance testing. In that, alpha testing, beta testing, etc. Right? SDLC model is completely different from this context. We know that this is a life cycle model which includes several phases, and these phases are requirement analysis. This is the very first phase. Then design, then implementation. That means encoding, right? Then testing, then evaluation. In evaluation or in execution, we can say maintenance and deployment, right? I think it is clear now. Let's move on to the next. So now we will be focusing on basic computer fundamentals, right? From here. So what is the main function of CPU in computer system? So as we all know that CPU is the brain of computer and it is useful for executing the instructions, right? So option number B will be the correct answer. Option number B will be the correct answer. Storage of data is done by HDD, right? Primarily HDD because it is useful for storing the data on a permanent basis, right? But because it's a non-volatile memory, right? So display output, it will be on monitor. Input of data, it can be through keyboard, it can be through mic, or it can be through mouse, right? The next is which component of a computer is responsible for storing data and program instructions that can be quickly accessed by CPU? See, storing data can be done by HDD, SDD also, but here it is asking for quickly access because RAM is a volatile memory and it is useful for temporary basis data storage, right? It is useful for storing the data on a temporary basis. That's why for quickly access it is useful. So here RAM will be the answer. HDD will be correct if it is asking for storing data, right? On a permanent basis. But here we are talking about quickly access that can be done if your memory is if your memory is volatile, right? Okay, let's move on to the next question. The next question is which of the following is a non-volatile storage device that stores data even when the computer is turned off? So just now we have discussed that our HDD is the storage device or is the memory that is non-volatile that can be store our data even after our computer is shut down or is turned off, right? So HDD will be the correct answer. RAM is a volatile memory. It useful for permanent. It is useful for temporary basis. And CPU is not a storing device. It is useful for execution the instructions. HDD is the correct answer. Cache memory is something. If we see cache memory, so cache memory is also a volatile memory, right? It will also loses its data when our computer is turned off. Moving next, the next is which of the following is not an example of input device? So input device means that user is able to provide some input. So keyboard. So when we press a key, we can give our input. So it's an input device, right? Mouse. When we click on mouse, so it is again a kind of input only from user, right? So it is a input device. Microphone. So I am speaking right now in my microphone. So it is an input device, right? I am giving some inputs. But monitor is something that is a output device, right? That is not input device, it is an output device. The next is what is the primary function of an arithmetic logical unit within CPU? So as the name suggests that arithmetic logic unit, that it is something that is useful for arithmetic and logical operation, but here it is asking for primary function, right? So arithmetic operation, that is plus, minus, division, multiplication, etc. So perform arithmetic operation is the primary operation of it or the primary goal of it, and the secondary goal is to perform logical operations, right? Let's move on to the next question. The next question is from networking now. Now we will be solving 4 to 5 questions from networking. Each and every section we will be focusing on, right? The next question is in which topology does the failure of a single device not impact the entire network operation? So first of all, let's understand what is topology. So topology is nothing but it is a set of principle in which we arrange our network devices, right? So there are basically 6 type of topologies available. So here it is asking for in which topology does the failure of a single device not impact the entire network's operation? So it is mesh topology. Why? Because in mesh topology, each and every device is connected to each other, right? So suppose there are 5 devices, right? My drawing is not good, so I'm just like doing it like this. So each and every device is connected to each other, right? Each and every device is connected to each other. So suppose this device is not working, so they can communicate each other no matter how, right? Because each and every device is connected to each other. So no matter this device is not working or this device is not working, so as they have the connection in 2 ways, right? Incoming and outgoing also, and with each device, so not a problem. But in bus topology, so bus topology is kind of, there is a backbone cable and then the network devices will be added here. So suppose if this backbone cable is not working, what happened? The whole topology will be destroyed. If in star topology, so in star topology, basically the devices will be connected through a central device that can be a hub or switch, right? So suppose this is hub and all the devices are connected to this, right? Here one device, two device, third device and fourth device, right? If hub is not working, again whole topology will be destroyed. Ring topology. So ring topology is something, one device, then second device, then the third device, and the fourth device. They are connected. Suppose this is not working, so the whole process will not work again. Right? So it is asking for in which topology, if one device is not working, so it will not impact mesh topology because each and every device is connected to each other. Right? So that is what the answer is. The next question is, which network topology is relatively simple to set up and demands less cabling in comparison to other topologies? So the answer is bus topology because we need only one single cable, right? It is a backbone cable and it is recommended for a smaller type of topologies. Okay, and there is no any kind of problem. It is simple to make, simple to form, and less cable is required here for bus topology. Here you can see the diagram. This is star topology. This is connected to a central device. This is bus topology. This is our backbone cable, and then the network devices are arranged, right? Now this is ring topology. Each and every device is connected to here in a circular manner. Not each and every device is connected. Sorry, one by one they are connected, right? In mesh topology, they are connected each other, right? Every device is connected to each other. Then this is tree topology, and hybrid topology is the mixture of two and more topologies, right? So this is the arrangement, or this is the diagram of topologies. Moving on to next. So the next is what type of attack. So now we will be solving the questions. This is again from network security, right? From network security. So what type of attacks inundates a network or server with an excessive number of requests, rendering it inaccessible for legitimate users? Right. So it is what type of attacks inundate or a server with excessive number of requests. So it is useful. It is when DDoS. DDoS means denial of services. That it is a type of attack in cyber security when someone who is a kind of, we can say, hacker, right? We can say attacker, not hacker, attacker, and he will pretend like he is a legitimate user and he will be sending multiple server requests. Because usually on web, what happens? This is us, right? Suppose this is a user and he is using laptop or like computer, and he need to find something. Like suppose he will search online study for you, so he will make a request to the server that what is online study for you. Server will take the request and server will replied that online study for you is a YouTube channel that is helpful for placements. Right. So it is something request and response scenario. So here someone who is here, it is attacker. So he will pretend like he is a legitimate user and he will send a lot of requests to the server so that server will be busy to respond to them, right? So it is what DDoS, denial of service attack. And when the actual legitimate user will try to get something or try to try to search something, so he will be facing the late reply from the server, right? So it is a kind of attack. Now if you want to understand each and everything in detail, each and everything in like in depth knowledge, if you want to take for every subject, not only for technical skills but for every subject including aptitude, logical reasoning, verbal ability, etc. So we have a course on our platform, right? Online study for you. So the course duration, there is a validity of 6 months, right? You can access this course and the material provided in this course for 6 months, and the price is also super affordable. But wait, directly going, let's see what is there inside the course. So you will be having all the things: aptitude, verbal ability, reasoning, technical MCQs, and coding. And the content will be provided in both of the forms, recorded and live classes. So if in case you have missed the live class, you can watch the recording, right? Apart from those live recordings, right, you will be having some more videos as well, clear your concepts, etc. So there will be some tutorial videos, and you can ask your doubts in live class, etc. And you can see, after that you can sit for mock test on our platform, right? And you can access the course from phone, from iPhone, from Android, and from laptop, any device, right? So and the price is also super affordable, in which you are getting this much of content: live recording, video recording, PDFs. All the PDFs will be provided for everything, right? Tutorials will be provided, then the PPTs and PDF will be provided, whatever the mentor is using in their lecture. Right. So if you want to enroll in this course, the link is in the description. Go and check out and take the in-depth knowledge. Not only they will solve the questions, right? Mentor will guide you each and everything. They will first teach you the concepts, and then they will do some practice questions along with you, right? They will give you some homeworks, etc. So all the things is are there. Let's move back here again. So what is phishing? Phishing is basically again a cyber attack that is like that is done with the help of emails. So here someone will send you a lot of emails to get some sensitive information through email, right? Spoofing is something that is pretending to be some authentic user, right? And brute force is a very basic approach that is like for cracking a password, you are giving all the possible combination of passwords, right? So it is the brute force approach. Let's move on to the next. What is the principal purpose of a firewall in network security? So firewall in network security is useful for access control. How? Firewall will monitor and filter the traffic, the network traffic, that whether it's an authorized traffic or unauthorized traffic. If it is unauthorized, or if it is something that the firewall is thinking that he is not a verified user, or some, maybe he's an attacker or something. There is any kind of not a trustworthy user, right? So he will deny his access, so that he it is useful for access control. Here I have written that what is firewall functionality. So our firewall is a network security device that monitors and filters incoming and outgoing network traffic based on an organization previously established security policies. How it will identify that whether it's trustworthy or non-trustworthy, right? So there are only, and there are previously established security policies, and accordingly it will filter out that yes, it is the verified user or it is the authentic user. It can it can come here, and it should be out there if it is fine unauthorized. Okay, let's move on to the next. Now we will be solving the questions from cyber security. The very first question is, what does the term phishing refer to in cybersecurity? So we have just discussed that it is something, a deceptive attempt to obtain sensitive information, and this attempt is done by using email, right? Phishing is related to email. The next question is, what is a firewall used for a network? So we have just discussed that it will block unauthorized access. Okay, it is useful for access control, that will block any unauthorized access. Let's move on to the next question. The next is, what is the purpose of encryption cybersecurity? We all know that encryption is something to securely transmit and store the data. We know in WhatsApp there is end-to-end encryption, right? So same meaning is that we are transmitting your data securely and we are storing your data securely, right? The next question is, which of these listed below is a type of malware that spreads by attaching itself to other program? So it don't need a host file, right? So it is something worm. It is something worm. It is called worm. And what is spyware? Spyware is a kind of virus, we can say, or we can say malicious program that is hidden in your computer, right? If it is there, so that will hidden in your computer and it will gather all the sensitive information, right? So adware is something that will show you a lot of ads, right? Ads, a lot of ads. Trojan is something that is malware disguised as legitimate software to trick users into installing it. It will like, suppose you are downloading a software and if it is a Trojan horse or Trojan, so it will look like that yes, it is a legitimate software and you will install it and all the information will be stolen or all the information will be hacked, right? So it is what uh, now, let's understand in depth what is spyware. It is a software that is designed to securely monitor user activities, collect sensitive information, and send it to the third party without consent. That means it will be hidden in your computer. The next is worm. So worm is a self-replicating malware that spreads across system without requiring a host file. And the next is adware. So adware is something that automatically displays or downloads unwanted advertisements, right? And Trojan we have discussed, and these are the some differences in a chart form. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what is the primary goal of a distributed denial of service attack? So we have discussed earlier the denial of service attack is something to distract our server, right? To distract our server, that means to disrupt normal functioning of a system, or it should be more specifically server, right? Because it is performed on server. I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Now the questions will be from cloud computing, right? So what is cloud computing? So cloud computing is a distributed computing model that is useful for resource pooling, that is useful for storage advancement, right? And various things. So it is basically a distributed computing model. A local storage solution, basically it is just opposite to this local storage solution. Now we can store our data on cloud, so it is just the opposite of this. The next is hardware manufacturing process, so it is nothing related to hardware. Software development methodology, no. The next question is, which is not a cloud service model? See, again, cloud computing, the basics of cloud computing is also teaching in our that course, right? I think by Nitin sir, it was taught to the students. Yeah. So in that, they have discussed that what are the cloud service model in detail. They have discussed that what is IaaS, infrastructure as a service, what is PaaS, platform as a service, what is SaaS, uh, software as a service, and this is not a valid service model, right? The next is these are the service model that have on cloud service, right? Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what is the primary benefit of using cloud computing? So cloud computing is something that is useful for improving accessibility, how that any user can access it, right? And scalability, because there was a problem of storage, etc. So we have scaled it, so the problem of accessibility and scalability, it has improved both. So that's what this is the answer. The next is, which cloud deployment model involves multiple cloud service providers working together? So something that includes multiple things, it's called hybrid. Simple. So hybrid cloud is that model that provides the working together functionality. Public cloud is open for everyone, open to all. Private cloud is specific to the organization, right? It is private or niche. Hybrid, that contains multiple type of service, cloud service. A community cloud is open for a group organization group. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is a cloud computing characteristics? Limited network access, resource pooling, strict data privacy, or fixed capacity? Resource pooling is the answer, that everyone can access it from anywhere, right? If they have the internet access, they can access it. Let's move on to the next question. Which cloud model is most suitable for developers who want to build, deploy, and manage applications without dealing with the complexity of infrastructure? So this is done by PaaS, Platform as a Service, which will provide each and everything to build a platform, to deploy it, and to manage application. IaaS is something that will only provide the basic infrastructure, or we can say just to build a project, but it is providing all the things like buildation, deployment, and manage applications. So PaaS is the platform with the correct answer. Let's move on to the next question. The basic architecture of computer was developed by. So don't think Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage was the father of the computer. It was okay, but the basic architecture was done by John von Neumann, right? And what rest do? John von Neumann, he proposed the von Neumann architecture, which forms the foundation of most modern computers. It includes concepts like stored program computer with separate memory and processing units. Charles Babbage, who is known as the father of the computer, he designed the analytical engine, an early mechanical computer, but it did not involve the architecture used today, right? And then Blaise Pascal, he developed or he invented a mechanical calculator called Pascaline, but not computer architecture. And Gordon Moore, not a significant contributor to computer architecture. He is a computer scientist who designed that algorithm that is called Moore's algorithm, right? But he is not a significant contributor in that computer architecture. Let's move on to the next. The next is, which of the following is the fastest? So CPU is the fastest because it execute many of the instructions at the same time parallelly, right? So magnetic tapes and disks, basically it is a like storage device that is, of course, depends on like it is slower than CPU, and it depends on the mechanical movements and slower data access speed. Video terminal is output device responsible for displaying information but not processing it. Its speed is dependent on connected hardware. And the next is sensors and mechanical controllers. So these are the input or output devices and are significantly slower than a CPU because they involve physical and mechanical operations. Let's move on to the next. And these are the last, right? Fifth generation computers are based on, we all know that fifth generation is based on machine learning, artificial intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence is the answer. The next is first generation was based on, so first generation was based on vacuum tube. And here you can see the explanation about each and every option. Artificial intelligence is a hallmark of fifth generation computer. These systems are designed to process tasks with advanced AI, machine learning, natural language processing, and robotics. Then programming intelligence, it was like never recognized as a base generation of a computer. And then system knowledge, you can have a look here, and for this you can take the screenshot. We have talked about vacuum tube. So these were the core technology for first generation computer used for processing and memory. Through they were bulky, though they were bulky and less reliable, right? So I have yeah, we have discussed the questions from different sections, and I hope the video was helpful and explanation is also clear to you, right? And if you want to enroll in this course, right, so you can check, the link is given in the description itself, or else you can enroll in Achievers batch where all the companies are included, right? It is company specific, and the Achievers batch of our is it is kind of all in one program. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today from my side. We will meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.